Most people believe explaining themselves is a sign of strength. When questioned, they clarify. When criticized, they defend. When misunderstood, they elaborate. It feels responsible. It feels mature. It feels necessary. But what if the habit of constantly explaining yourself is not strength, but insecurity disguised as politeness? Notice how quickly you begin justifying your decisions. Why you chose that path, why you said those words, why you arrived late, why you disagree. The impulse to explain often appears before you are even asked. It is automatic, and that automation reveals something important. Over-explaining is rarely about clarity, it is about approval. When someone challenges you, the ego interprets instability. It feels judged. It feels exposed. It wants to restore balance. The fastest way to do that is through explanation. If you can make them understand, you believe you regain control. But in doing so, you quietly surrender authority. The more you justify, the more you imply that your choices require permission. The more you defend, the more you signal that doubt has already entered. Strength does not rush to be validated. It stands steady. This does not mean silence in every situation. It means understanding when explanation is truly required and when it is driven by fear of disapproval. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the opinion of others does not define his character. Epictetus taught that external judgment is outside your control. When you explain excessively to control perception, you chase what was never yours to govern. Over-explaining drains energy. It prolongs conflict. It invites further scrutiny. It reinforces the belief that your peace depends on being understood by everyone. True authority is quieter. It does not reject explanation when necessary. It simply refuses to perform for validation. If you feel compelled to explain yourself constantly, ask a harder question. Who are you trying to convince? Often the answer is not them. It is yourself. The urge to explain yourself does not appear without reason. It is rooted in something deeper than communication. It is rooted in the need for acceptance. Human beings are wired for social belonging. From early childhood, approval signals safety. Disapproval signals risk. When someone questions you, even subtly, the nervous system registers instability. It feels like a threat to status or connection. The ego steps forward to repair the damage. Explanation becomes a tool of reassurance. If they understand my intentions, they won't judge me. If I justify my actions, they won't reject me. If I clarify enough, I can prevent misunderstanding. But this assumption hides a fragile foundation, the belief that your worth depends on being correctly perceived. Social anxiety strengthens this pattern. Many people fear being misinterpreted more than being wrong. They over-communicate to avoid appearing careless, arrogant, or incompetent. Yet the more they speak, the more anxious they become about how their words are received. There is also the illusion of control. You believe that by carefully explaining yourself, you can control how others think about you. But perception belongs to them. No amount of explanation guarantees alignment. The ego fears ambiguity. Silence feels dangerous because it leaves space for interpretation. Over-explaining fills that space with justification. It feels proactive, but often reveals insecurity. The Stoics recognize this. Epictetus warned that trying to control what others think traps you in dependency. When your emotional stability depends on their approval, you relinquish authority. The need to explain is rarely about clarity. It is about comfort. Comfort in being understood. Comfort in being validated. Comfort in avoiding rejection. But comfort is not always strength. And strength begins where validation ends. The Stoics were clear. The opinions of others do not belong to you. They exist outside your control. And anything outside your control should not disturb your inner stability. Epictetus taught that if someone speaks poorly of you, you have two possibilities. Either the criticism is true, in which case you improve, or it is false, in which case it is irrelevant. In neither case does outrage serve you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that reputation is noise. In his meditations, he wrote that praise or blame does not alter the substance of your character. If your conduct is aligned with virtue, external approval becomes unnecessary. Seneca warned against living for the approval of the crowd. He observed that when you depend on public opinion, you become a servant. The more you seek to correct misunderstandings, the more you tie your peace to others. This is where over-explaining reveals its weakness. It is an attempt to control perception. But perception is not yours to command. The Stoics advised indifference to noise. If someone offers constructive criticism, examine it calmly. If someone misunderstands you, clarify briefly if necessary. But once clarity has been offered, release the outcome. Authority is preserved not through endless justification, but through consistent conduct. When you stop measuring your worth by how others interpret you, emotional freedom expands. You no longer scramble to correct every impression. You stand firm in alignment with your principles. The Stoic lesson is simple. Your responsibility is your character, not your image. And when you internalize that distinction, the urge to explain begins to weaken. Silence is often misunderstood. In modern culture, silence can look like weakness. We are taught that confidence speaks loudly, but the Stoics understood something different. Silence can be power. When someone challenges you, the instinct is to defend. But immediate explanation is often emotional, not rational. Silence interrupts that reflex. A pause does not mean surrender. It means governance. Silence gives you space to examine what was said without being swept into reaction. It prevents escalation. When you refuse to react impulsively, you remove fuel from the situation. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to pause before accepting impressions. He did not rush to answer every insult. Evaluation preceded response. That discipline preserved dignity. There is also psychological weight in restraint. When you do not explain yourself unnecessarily, you signal confidence. Calmness under pressure commands more respect than volume. This does not mean never speaking. It means speaking deliberately. Silence protects energy. It prevents minor conflicts from becoming prolonged arguments. It allows others to reveal themselves fully without interference. Most people fear silence because they fear misinterpretation. But over-explaining often creates more confusion than clarity. Brief, precise communication is stronger than emotional justification. Silence is not withdrawal. It is discipline, and discipline, sustained consistently, transforms how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Lesson 1. Not everyone deserves your explanation. You are not obligated to justify every decision to every person. If someone asks out of curiosity, answer briefly. If someone questions from insecurity, silence may be stronger. Authority is selective. Lesson 2. Approval is not authority. Seeking approval feels safe, but it shifts power outward. When you depend on others to validate your choices, you weaken your own conviction. Stand by your decisions calmly. Lesson 3. Defensiveness signals insecurity. Immediate explanation often reveals doubt. If you truly trust your judgment, you do not rush to defend it. Confidence does not argue loudly. Lesson 4. Silence preserves dignity. In emotionally charged situations, restraint prevents escalation. Measured silence can communicate composure more effectively than argument. Lesson 5. Let results speak. Consistent action eliminates the need for excessive explanation. When your conduct aligns with your words, justification becomes unnecessary. Lesson 6. Emotional detachment builds power. Over-explaining is often emotional. Detachment allows you to respond strategically. Lesson 7. Over-explaining invites manipulation. Boundaries grow stronger when explanations are concise. Lesson 8. Clarity over justification. Explain when necessary, but keep it precise. Long defenses weaken credibility. Lesson 9. Control your reaction, not their opinion. You cannot control how others interpret you. You can control how you respond. Lesson 10. Speak less, stand firm. Measured words carry weight. Excessive words dilute authority. Strength is quiet. Place two people in the same room and give them the same challenge. Watch how differently their lives unfold. The reactive mind hears criticism and responds immediately. It interrupts. It justifies. It explains in detail. It attempts to repair perception. The energy rises. Tension spreads. Even if the explanation is logical, it feels defensive. Authority weakens. The self-governed mind hears the same criticism and pauses. It evaluates whether there is truth in the statement. If there is, it accepts it calmly. If there is not, it discards it without agitation. No rush to defend, no visible insecurity. Stability remains intact. Consider disagreement. The reactive person argues until understood. They feel unsettled until the other party agrees. Their peace depends on alignment. The self-governed individual accepts disagreement as natural. They present their position once, clearly. If acceptance does not follow, they remain steady. Their peace does not depend on persuasion. Now imagine accusation. The reactive mind scrambles to prove innocence. It lists reasons. It provides context. It seeks reassurance. The governed mind understands that excessive defense can signal weakness. It addresses the necessary point and stops. It does not overextend. Over time, the difference compounds. The reactive person becomes predictable in volatility. Others anticipate emotional defense. Trust becomes fragile. The self-governed person becomes known for steadiness. Their words carry weight because they are measured. Their silence communicates confidence. The distinction is subtle in isolated moments. It becomes dramatic over years. Reactive behavior builds exhaustion and resentment. Governed behavior builds calm authority and internal peace. Both encounter the same world. Only one controls himself within it, and that difference defines the quality of their life. Stopping yourself from over-explaining is not a single decision. It is a daily discipline. The first practice is intentional pause. Before responding to a question or criticism, allow a brief silence. That pause breaks the automatic urge to defend. It creates space for clarity instead of impulse. The second practice is structured brevity. Say only what is necessary. Answer the question directly. Avoid adding extra context unless it serves the situation. Excess explanation often signals internal doubt rather than external need. The third practice is emotional awareness. Notice when you feel compelled to justify yourself. Ask whether the urge is coming from pride or principle. If it is pride, silence is often wiser. The fourth practice is boundary reinforcement. You are not obligated to explain every choice. When appropriate, a simple statement such as, "That's what I've decided," is sufficient. Repetition builds confidence in concise communication. The fifth practice is reflection after interaction. Instead of replaying conversations endlessly, review them once. Identify whether your response aligned with your values, then let the moment go. Disciplined communication is not about speaking less for appearance, it is about speaking with intention. Over time, this restraint strengthens authority. When words are measured, they carry weight. And when restraint becomes habitual, explanation becomes optional rather than instinctive. At some point, this stops being about techniques and becomes about identity. If you still see yourself as someone who needs to be understood by everyone, you will continue explaining yourself. If you see yourself as someone who governs his actions by principle, the urge to justify begins to fade. The shift is subtle but profound. A pleaser seeks harmony through approval. A leader seeks alignment through integrity. The Stoics grounded this shift in virtue. Temperance restrains the impulse to overreact. Courage allows you to tolerate misunderstanding without panic. Wisdom examines whether explanation is truly necessary. Justice ensures that your response remains fair rather than defensive. When identity is anchored in virtue, explanation loses urgency. You no longer scramble to manage perception. You manage conduct instead. This does not mean indifference. It means internal stability. You are open to correction, but not desperate for validation. You clarify when needed, but you do not perform for acceptance. Over time, others sense the difference. Your presence becomes steadier. Your words become fewer but more deliberate. You do not argue to prove yourself. You stand by your decisions calmly. Externally, nothing dramatic changes. People still question, they still disagree, but internally you are no longer shaken. And when you stop needing to explain yourself constantly, authority begins to replace insecurity. That is the Stoic shift, from approval seeker to self-governed leader. The change may feel small at first. A shorter response, a calmer tone, a pause instead of defense. But over time, these small shifts reshape everything. Each time you resist the urge to over-explain, you conserve energy. Each time you respond briefly instead of defensively, you preserve authority. Those moments accumulate. Others begin to see you as steady, not reactive. Your words carry more weight because they are not excessive. In relationships, fewer explanations reduce unnecessary tension. You are no longer trying to control how you are perceived. You focus on acting with integrity. Disagreements remain discussions rather than battles. In professional settings, measured speech enhances credibility. Leaders are not known for speaking the most. They are known for speaking with intention. Silence, when deliberate, signals confidence. Contrast this with the alternative. Over-explaining breeds doubt. Constant justification suggests insecurity. Emotional defensiveness erodes trust. The difference compounds quietly. One path leads to exhaustion and fragile confidence. The other builds calm presence and inner certainty. Saying less does not mean caring less. It means governing yourself more. And governance, sustained over time, becomes unmistakable strength. At the beginning, we confronted an uncomfortable truth. The need to constantly explain yourself is not strength. It is insecurity disguised as responsibility. The Stoics taught that disturbance comes from judgment, not events. You cannot control how others interpret you. You can control how you respond. When you stop chasing approval and start governing your reactions, something powerful happens. You become steady. You no longer scramble to correct every misunderstanding. You clarify when necessary and move forward when it is not. Your energy shifts from defense to direction. Strength is not loud. Authority is not frantic. Confidence does not beg to be understood. If this perspective challenged you, continue exploring these ideas with the Dark Stoic. Subscribe for deeper lessons in emotional discipline, resilience, and practical Stoic philosophy for modern life.